Hello everyone, welcome to Laravel. My name is William Juma. In this video, I would like us to learn how to install and use Filament Tables in a Livewire application. In this case, where you are using Livewire and Tailwind CSS and Alpine.js, so in a tall stack application. Filament Tables offer a very nice interface of data tables that you can be able to leverage on in any of your Livewire applications. So in this video, I would like us to see how we can be able to go ahead and use Filament Tables in our Livewire application. So this is a new installation of Laravel, and there is nothing else that we have in this application. So I would like us to go ahead and install Tailwind CSS and have it set up. So I'm going to just copy this one here. This is Tailwind CSS, and we are looking for the specific installation for Laravel. So we copy this and paste it here. npm install -d Tailwind CSS post CSS and auto prefix. Then we will run the command npx Tailwind CSS init -p to generate the configuration files. After that, we will open our Tailwind config and pass in the file types that we require. So we'll just copy what we have here and paste inside content. And then we will paste this in our app.css file. So we will go to resources, views, resources CSS, app.css, and paste it here. And after that, we can do npm install. Maybe we can go ahead and do it once after we also have installed Filament Tables. So for us to install Filament Tables, we will go to Filament PHP website, documentation, get started. On the sidebar, we will click on Table Builder. And inside here, we have instructions on how to install the Filament Tables. So if it's a new project, you will follow this. If it's an existing project, you will use this command. But before we work on those ones, you can be able first of all to install the Filament Tables. So I'm going to run the command composer require Filament Tables. We will give a constraint of 3.2, and then with all dependencies. Sometimes VS Code usually misbehaves with such kind of command. I will instead use git bash to run that command. The command to install Filament Tables is complete. And so I would like us to now run the command to install it in order to publish the assets. So what we are going to do is to run php artisan filament install. And if the project is a new project, you can add scaffold. But if it's an old project, you can just do --tables, because if you do scaffolding, it will delete even the assets that you have within your application. So better you take cognizance of that. So if it is an old project, where an existing project, you will just run php artisan filament install -tables, just that. But we will run this too because I'm dealing with a new project. And the scaffolding is complete. I will run npm. I will run npm install and npm run dev. I will also run npm run dev. And I believe that one is okay. I would like us to use full page components for our Livewire component. So in these instructions, I'm just going to copy this sort of layout file. And as we can see in the layout file, we have the filament styles and filament scripts. So you have to ensure you have included. But let me just first of all copy. And as I copy, we can go ahead and run the command php artisan make php artisan livewire full : layout, and it will create for us a component, and it says it already exists. So when we go to resources, views, components, we have our app.blade.php. I believe this one probably could have been generated by Filament. Yes, it was generated by Filament. And that's the reason why it is said that you cannot be able to run the scaffold in an existing application. So this one is already done for us. So we can go ahead and create a component. We will run the command php artisan make livewire, and I want it to be user inside a directory called users, and I want it to be list users component. And if we are working with the filament tables, I can also add a flag generate to be able to generate for us the scaffold of that component. So we hit enter. It says generate option does not exist. Yes. Okay. Let me just go ahead and do it like that. So we have our component. Of course, we will have inside Livewire, that is resources views Livewire, we will have our list users component. And then in app Livewire, we will have list users inside the users directory. So let us go ahead and configure this for the filament table. And so what we are going to do is to have some traits. So we have implements in the class list users extends component, and then implements has forms. And then we can also implement has table like that. We will import these two classes, so has forms, and then also filament contracts has table. After that, we will have use interacts with tables, interacts with table, and then interacts with form, interacts with forms like that. We will also import these two, and then also this one. So after doing that, then we can now go ahead and have our filament table. So probably we can move the view a little bit downwards, and then up here we can have public function table. The return type will be a table, and inside here we will have table. This you return table, and then we can be able to pass in whatever we need. So we have columns, and we have filters, and we have actions. And lastly, we can have the bulk actions. And for the bulk actions, we will return bulk action group, and we will have an array of values inside here. So that is sort of whatever it is that we will have. I will import the bulk action group above here. Use filament tables actions, bulk action group. We will also remember to import table, filament tables table. And also for this one, it has to return a query. Return query like that. And here I just want us to have user query. We will use the users table, the users model, the user model to do whatever it is that we want with this one, such that it be easy for me to set up. I like to use such a kind of a simple thing to such that I will not be having a lot of issues to do, and that can be able to give me time to concentrate with maybe showing you whatever it is that I have in mind to talk about. And now, after that, we can go ahead and now have the columns. So in our user table, we have the text column that is make, name. Then of course we have email, like that, and I believe those ones are enough. Or should we have created that and updated it? Let me add those two. And for these two, maybe we can try and make them, for the name, we can make it searchable. And that means we will have a search box within our table. So even for the email, we can also make it searchable. For this created at, I would like to have it in a way that is toggleable. So we will have the type that it is date, time, and maybe also sortable, and we can make it toggleable. And inside here we can pass is toggled hidden by default. We will say that is true. I would like updated that to also have something similar, but really this is not a big issue for now. So now I would like us to try and see if we can be able to display this table. So our component is list users, and I would like to render it as a full page component. So that means I need to create a route for this specific component. So here we will have route get users, and we can just call in the list users class, like that. I will try to import it above if I've typed it incorrectly. List users, yes, I've mistyped it, and it is imported. Use app Livewire users list users, so that is okay. So since our application is already running, I would like to visit users and see what happens. And we have nothing. Interesting. The reason why that is the case is because we have not passed in our table here. So what it is that I'm going to do, we will have the curly braces and pass in this table like that. Attempt to refresh again, and we have our table, no users. I would like to do a little bit of styling, maybe some hacky stuff. I just like to give our slots, in this case the body, I can just add a padding, the horizontal padding and the vertical padding. So vertical 10, then this other padding also 10, to just remove it from the edges, because it was almost, yes, now it looks a little bit better. So I need to create some users in our database. So we will go to the database seeder, to database seeder, and inside here where we are having the user factory is where probably I can be able to say we can create some users. And I will run the command php artisan db seed. And this is because the user migrations for the users table is already configured in it ships in with the Laravel application, so I do not need to create those things. So now if I refresh, we now have our users, and our table is displaying nicely, and I can be able to search, and you can see we can be able to filter the user by searching. I would like us to do a little bit more. Remember, we are only showing the name and email, but when we click here, we can be able to also show created at when we tick it and updated at. like that. I will uncheck them again. I would like this table of ours to do a little bit more for us. So I would like to probably pass in a filter, just showing you what you can be able to do, just some small snippets here and there, such that at least once you are done watching this video, at least you know a little bit more about some of these things. And these ones are not a preserve of the custom table, filament table within Livewire. It's what it is that you can be able to do with your filament table. So I would like us to have a filter. The name of our filter, let me call it is verified. And this we're just checking if the user has a verified email. It's nothing much. So we can pass in a query, and inside our query we can have function and builder, and then after that we can go ahead and perform our query. We're just checking if the email verified at has some data, so I can be able to just check where not null email underscore verified at something of that sort. That is good enough. I can be able to import the filter, filament tables filter, and save. And now if we are to refresh our table, now we have the filters icon. So if we select it and maybe choose, we are having an issue with our closure. So let me check it. I think the reason why we have that error is because this builder that has been imported automatically for us could be the issue. I can see it's just okay. I think we can change it to the Eloquent builder. Not very sure. So let us try import it again, and we will choose Eloquent builder. So database contracts Eloquent builder. I believe it is the one. I'm having that where not null is not accepted. Let me try refresh. No error. Let us try and check again. Now at least we can be able to do that filter. So I believe, I do not know if it is just the editor that is messing with me, because it seems we are able to do the filtering. And probably if where not null is not a good method to use, you can choose a different thing and use it there. So basically that one is working. I would also like to do something on bulk actions. And so for bulk actions, we can, in our bulk action, we can pass in the delete bulk action that way. And if we go back to our table and refresh, now we can be able to select some of the users here. So if I select 2 of them and attempt to delete them, we'll be asked if we want to delete. Now you can see they have been removed from our list. That is what you can be able to do, and you can see it's good functionality that is brought very quickly out of the box. I would also want to add some actions here. So for example, edit and delete. So those 2 are the ones that I would like us to have some buttons on this side. And I think once we're able to do that, that will be enough for this video. So inside actions, I would like us to have the delete action first. So we have action make. We will call it delete. We will chain action and have a function. Inside this function, we first of all pass in our model, so user record. Then we can just perform a delete. We can say record delete, and obviously that is good enough, but you are supposed to also ensure that you have performed validation to the extent that the person who is deleting is allowed to. So you're supposed to do authorization here and not allow anybody to just come and delete your records. But for now, I will not go into that. So we will import Filament table actions, model action. It seems that one is deprecated. I thought it could have been the one. So let me remove it. Again, try to import this action, and now we will pick the Filament Tables action. I believe that is the one. And by doing this, we are able to delete our record. I would just like us to use notification to probably show a toast notification to our user and tell them that the specific record that they wanted to delete has actually been deleted. And so we will have notification make and chain the title. In our title, we can pass in a message record deleted, something of that sort. And we can mention the notification type to be success, and then pass in send. Just by doing that, we will be in a position to notify our users. So I would like to just import notification, and it will be filament notification, and save that. Again, if we go back to our table, now we have a delete button. The user here is Jack Rath. I'd like to delete this one. Now you can see they are gone. Let us see if the notification will come, and now it's here. I also want us to have an edit action, and this one will be edit. I saved it for last because we will do a little bit of work here. So remember, we did pass in form, so we can be able to use form here, and this is where we can be able to put in the inputs of our form. So we can have text, make, name, and the other input is email. We will import text input, that is filament components form, is filament forms component text input, and that will be okay. We will go on ahead and pass in data to our form. So we can say mount using function. In our function, we need to pass in two things: the form and the record, which is a user model record. We will import form, which is filament forms form, and then now we can be able to populate our form. So you say form fill, and we will add the name as record name. Remember, this is an edit form, so we need to pass in the values that we want the user to see, such that they can be able to change. Email, record, email. This one requires $sign, I think. After that, we need to go ahead and save our form, so we will chain action. And in our action, we are going to pass in an array of data. That is the data that is coming from our form. And then we will also pass in the user record to be in a position to update it well. So this one is supposed to be a function, not the way I'm typing it in. So we will have function like that. And inside here, we can be able to pass in what I was talking about. The return type is void. There's nothing we are returning. And I believe also for the others, we can be able to put in the return types. It's good practice, even for the ones that we have above here. But I would like us to go ahead and save our form. So we can just say record update, and we will pass in our data. Again, this is I'm not doing authorization, and it is important for you to ensure that anytime you're performing actions like this in Livewire, you are actually authorizing the user who is doing the update. So of course, after doing that, you can be able still to have a notification to just give feedback to the person working on the table that you have performed, that they have performed some action. So we can say record updated like that, and it will be a success notification. So I would like us to refresh also and see if we are able to see that and also do it. So here I can click on edit, and now you can see our information is filled here. So for example, for this professor, we can change the name to James, submit. And now you can see the record is captured well with whatever it is that we did submit. I would like us to now attempt and see if we can have a button for creating a user. And so for this one, we need to have an actions, but then I would like to change the name of the action to something like header action, I believe. That, and here we can have action make, and let us call it create. I would like to refresh and see if we have that button. I think I have a typo. It's supposed to be header actions, not header action. It's not singular. Now you can see we have create above here. So we are doing well. I believe we can be able to create a new user. So let us go ahead and chain the form and action in a similar way in which we have done previously. And here we can have action. So in our action, we will pass in a function, not like that, and we will pass in an array containing data like that. So that is what we will have in our action. In our form, we need three things. That is the name. So we have text input name. Yes, we will call it name. Text input make name. And then we will have text input make email. We will also require to have a password. Probably this could have been generated automatically, but just to shorten whatever it is that I want to do, can you allow me to just call it password? And we can call it, the type is password, and we can say that our password is revealable, something of that sort. But you can also generate the password after the user has entered, after the name and email have been entered in the inputs. So after that, we have our action, and here we can say user create and pass in the data like that. So let us see if that one also works as expected. So I will click on create. We are having a model. So the name I will use maybe John. The email John at example.com. And the password, just the word password. And if we check it, we can be able to see actually what we typed. Submit. And that is submitted. And of course, I would also like to ensure that we have a notification here. So just copy what we have in this notification and then pass it in here. As you can see, we have repeated ourselves a bit with the notification. Probably we could have a method and just call that method every single time. That would be a better and cleaner way of doing this. But nonetheless, I have done what I have done, and I believe our table has a semblance of nice looking table. And remember, this is not Filament PHP. We have just imported the Filament PHP table and we are using it in our Livewire component. I believe and hope that I have been able to add value to you. If you like the video, please click thumbs up. If you are new to this channel and you have not subscribed, consider giving us a subscription. It means a lot to us. And if you have a comment and a compliment, please share in the comment section below. Thank you very much.